I'm sure you're interested in this one. On Tuesday, a cut-off low affected the country, resulting in freezing temperatures and disruptive snow over the Eastern Cape, Lesotho and KwaZulu-Natal. The plummeting temperatures and rain is expected to continue into the weekend. Let's now bring in meteorologist Mbavhi Maliage. Very good morning to you. Thank you so much for talking to us. Just to indicate to you my level of knowledge in terms of this field, what is a cut-off low?
So, in simple terms, a cut-off low is a low that develops in the upper atmosphere, and it brings in cold conditions and rainy conditions, especially over into the interior of the country. It all depends also where it has developed and how intense it is. So sometimes cut-off low develops and it doesn't really cause a lot of damage over the country, but also the season that we're in is the season that we expect a lot of these systems to come through. So especially with this cut-off low, it is quite an intense cut-off low. That's why we're seeing all this rainfall and all this drop in temperature and also snow developing over the high-lying areas of the Eastern Cape and KZN.
So people have been asking if this is going to continue throughout winter. Is that the case? What can we expect in the next coming days?
So this is not going to continue throughout winter. Well, this specific cut-off low will not continue throughout winter. So there will be more cut-off lows that will develop, but it's not. It's a very tricky forecast to make. So we make a forecast for about 7 days. But again, this is winter, so this is the season that we do expect cut-off lows to develop over the country. For the next couple of days, rather, we are expecting colder conditions because as the cut-off low has moved out of the country, a cold front has moved through. So we have two systems that are affecting the country, one after the other, and both of the systems actually result in cooler conditions. So the cut-off low has moved and has dropped temperatures of the country, and now we're seeing another cold front that's moving through, and that's resulting in a further drop over the country. So temperatures aren't expected to become any better over the next couple of days. We're expecting a drop in temperatures into the interior. It's going to be very cold, although the snow and the rain will start dissipating, but temperatures are expected to become cold as we move through in the next couple of days.
Bobby, you know how you can, we have records of the coldest day in history. Are these record lows, or is it just chilly?
These are not record lows. I stand to be corrected, but I think it's in 2017, we've had even colder conditions than these. So I think this is the coldest that we've had since the beginning of the year. So the general public tend to forget 3 years ago how cold it was. So this is the first really cold period that has occurred since the beginning of the year. So this is the one thing that will be stuck in the head, that this is the coldest that we've had since the beginning of the year. But as far as I know, no records have been broken in terms of cold temperatures. We're still waiting for more rainfall to occur for the rest of the day to see if any records will be broken in terms of rainfall, but it isn't likely with this specific system.
You know how the global conversation at the moment is about climate change and weather patterns. The fact that South Africa is experiencing energy constraints, is that in any way linked to the weather conditions we're experiencing at the moment? This kind of system that occurs every single season. So this is something that is not out of the ordinary. This is what we expect to occur on a seasonal basis. Cut-off lows, cold fronts always occur every single year. So this isn't out of the ordinary. So we are expecting more systems to develop for the winter season, but this is definitely not out of the ordinary. In terms of climate change, as I mentioned, it is part of our global weather patterns that we do see these cold fronts that move through and to see these cut-off lows develop. So again, this isn't out of the ordinary. This is well expected into the season that we're in. So we can assure our viewers that they will be putting away those heavy jackets soon.
Oh, no.
That is not the case. We're still in winter, but what I'm trying to say is that because we are in winter, this isn't out of the ordinary. So temperatures are still expected to be cold. We are still expecting more cold fronts to come through, which isn't out of the ordinary. We have seen last year cold fronts well into the June season. Meteorologically, the June season is between 1 June going all the way up to the 31st of August. So this is literally just the beginning of the winter season, just the beginning. So in the next couple of months, we can expect more cold fronts to develop. But it isn't out of the ordinary. It is part of the global weather patterns that in this period, we start seeing cold fronts coming through, cutoff lows coming through, and temperatures continuing to drop as you go further into the season.
You have prepared some images for us. Talk us through those.
Yes, I have. So this is an image of a taxi that was stuck in Lesotho. It is something that I would like to emphasize that in a case like this, when it does snow, it's a very dangerous thing, especially with small cars, to drive through the snow because already the ground is wet. So it's such a tricky situation when you have small cars that are driving through the snow. So it is something that motorists need to be very careful of. This is also into the Lesotho region where we've seen more snow that has been coming in. More snow is still expected, actually. So far, there has been reports of up to 15 centimeters of snow in some places, especially over the Lesotho and also now into the KZN region, where more passes have been closed over into the southwestern parts of the KZN region. More snow is still expected for today. There is an alert from the South African Weather Service for more disruptive snow, especially over the high-lying areas of the Eastern Cape and also into the high-lying areas of KZN. Let me just show you quickly what is it that we are expecting for today in terms of the alerts over the country. And also along the coastal regions, KZN is expecting more rainfall, not just snow. So more rainfall is expected, especially along the coastal regions of KZN. So if you are in those regions, please do take note of the alerts that have been issued out by the South African Weather Service that disruptive rainfall is still expected and also disruptive snow is expected, including Lesotho, KZN, and also into the northeastern parts of the Eastern Cape region. This is mostly for today. Tomorrow, although the rain does clear, we are still expecting cooler conditions to continue for tomorrow and as well as into Saturday. So this is the forecast that we are expecting just to see what's happening on Friday. Cooler conditions into the interior, a little bit of rain over the coastal regions of KZN, but the interior is going to be very cold over into Friday and as well as into Saturday. We're still expecting more cooler conditions with no rainfall, but just be aware of that. The mornings will be very chilly with a possibility of frost over into the interior, the Free State, KZN, and also in parts of the Gauteng province.
SABC meteorologist, thank you so much for talking to us, Mbavhi Maliage, giving us some sense of what to expect in the coming days in terms of your weather forecast.